The Sarasota Opera stages elaborate productions of some very well-known operas. The costumes and the scenery are just as important to the shows often as the singing and the acting. But something you may not have thought about, all that hair. Brittany Rapizzi is the hair and the makeup designer for the Sarasota Opera, and she joins us to explain all that goes into creating those looks on stage. The winter season has just opened, but you're in charge of making sure everybody on that stage has a good hair day.
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, would you like to come and live with me? Oh, what a great thing it would be to have you around. Okay, are most of the performers wearing wigs?
About 98% of our performers are not wearing their own hair.
Wow.
So we get away with a few on stage, but we love the big elaborate hair and we love them looking perfect for every show. And the way to guarantee that is to style some wigs and get them on their heads.
Well, where do you get the wigs?
We actually make most of them.
Oh, you make a wig?
We make a wig. In fact, this guy right here is sort of in process.
What does that involve? Yeah.
We spend anywhere from 20 to 100 hours building a single wig. And that involves tying hairs one at a time into very fine lace.
One at a time?
One at a time.
Now, we were just asking about your kit,
Yep.
and you said you have a cigarette lighter for what?
I do. I have a cigarette lighter in my kit at all times. We always want to make wigs with the same type of hair, and synthetic hair and human hair are very different. And the way we test that is to give it a quick light on fire and see how it burns.
If it burns, which is it if it burns?
If it gets ashy, that means it's human. If it melts, it's synthetic.
Oh, wow, that is
Little
good
trick for
to
you.
know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Should we check all of our hair right now?
Yeah, right.
Uh-oh.
I've been a little circumspect to Joey's hair ever since I've
It might not all be the same.
Well, tell us about Carmen.
One
now.
by
what
one.
kind of wigs for Carmen?
We have some beautiful wigs in Carmen. In fact, we have 64 of them in
64
Carmen.
Wow.
wigs?
Yep.
Wow.
And these two wigs on the end here are both in Carmen. That's our Carmen and our Micaela.
Nice.
And they
This
were
is Carmen?
Carmen is on the left,
Carmen's
the brown,
here.
very, very curly one.
Of course.
She's a very sassy character, and she owns the stage, and we needed to give her hair that matches.
Oh,
so
yeah.
This
Oh,
wig
wow,
looks
and there she is.
highlighted. Do you highlight them after you put the hair in?
we usually actually highlight the hair as we build it. So
As
we
you
add
build
in
it.
streaks to give it some light and depth and make them
That is
unique for the character.
artistry right
Wow.
there.
And depending on what the characters do sometimes, do you have to touch up the wigs throughout the run of the show?
Every day.
They
Oh, wow.
become
Wow.
grayer?
Wow.
What's involved in touching up?
So
Because
what we
every
do,
day-
you'll notice they're all blocked down onto the head with a tape and pins. That's to keep the lace looking invisible. So
Yes.
my job is to make sure that doesn't look like a wig on stage.
Right.
If you leave saying that was a beautiful wig, I didn't do my job right.
Oh, explain to us what's possible with a lace front that is not possible with, say, like a store-bought wig people buy on Halloween.
You'll notice like those store-bought wigs look fake. They look
Yeah.
plastic, and it's always the hairline. That lace allows us to tie those hairs one at a time and make it look like a natural hairline.
Right.
So that's right here. Wow, wow.
Now, Monalusco is next. Tell me about the wigs that you do for that.
Manon Lescaut is actually our biggest wig show for the season. Quite literally, actually, that is Manon Lescaut on the end over there.
Oh, wow.
We
My
have
favorite.
101 wigs in Manon Lescaut.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we have some characters that change back and forth 2 to 3 times, so each of them have 2 or 3 wigs. And our Manon Lescaut herself has 4. She's beautiful, and she rocks that wig so well.
She does.
What holds them on? I've worn wigs before and lost them at strategic moments.
Pins and a prayer.
Pins in a
Have you had one fall off in the
Never.
middle? Never.
Oh,
Wow.
yes,
No,
good.
I have never had a wig fall off on stage, and we're not starting here at Sarasota.
You don't use any kind of adhesive?
If we need it, if the lace on the front is starting to, move a little bit, we'll glue it down a little, but it's just strategic pinning.
From
Wow.
a storage standpoint, like when we see one of the operas, we see, the gorgeous costumes and the sets and the number of people, but you don't think 100 and something wigs are also being stored backstage. This is 5 and they take up a lot of
And
space.
finding your wig out of that 101 wigs.
Wow.
It actually looks a lot like this in our shop. We have 2 rooms in our wig shop at Sarasota Opera, and they are just full of heads.
Talking
How
heads.
many
can
people
say
do you
that.
have in your shop working on the wigs?
We have 5 staff members working with me right now, and they are absolute rock stars. We've got 40, 50, 60 people coming through the wig shop every day, and
Wow.
we got to get the right person, get the right wig on, and do it in time.
Wow.
And you do wigs for other people, too, people who are not on stage.
I
Tell
do.
me about that.
So I've been very fortunate to get work constantly doing what I love to do, and the way I love to give back when I can is to build wig for build wigs for people that are going through medical situations that cause them to lose their hair.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
alopecia,
Nice.
cancer treatments, it's sort of our way of giving back because, I mean, I love my hair. Hair is a huge
You've
part
got
of who
great
I
hair.
am.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can imagine what it's like to lose a huge part of yourself like that.
I can too, as a matter of fact.
Les has been eyeing this one.
When you make a wig, do you have a preference on, do you like working better with real hair or versus artificial?
It really all depends on what it's for. For a wig like Big Manon down there, synthetic is much easier, so there's less maintenance.
Gotcha.
Human hair reacts just like our hair does to
Oh my.
water,
Humidity.
humidity,
We don't want
Oils on
that,
your
no.
wind. But if I'm building someone for a cancer patient, I want
Right.
it to be human so they can treat it like it was their own
Yes.
hair.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, you can see her work at the Sarasota Opera. The opera season is going on right now. And for more information, go to the Sarasota Opera's website. Great shows, and you can see all these wonderful wigs. Next, some very good news from Goodwill about an amazing find at a Suncoast store.